Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another installment of Hanging Out for a Living. Today, we're honored to have with us an advertising maven, Diane McClure. As the co-owner of Edge Advertising Group, Diane and her team have been transforming the advertising landscape for small to mid-sized businesses in the greater Rochester, New York area. They offer a spectrum of services from website development, social media, email marketing, to public relations, and even event planning. See, I told you I'd trip over my own mouth. All under a budget-friendly umbrella. Their on-hold messaging service has even reached businesses coast to coast. So let's dive into the fascinating world of Edge advertising with Diane. Diane, welcome. Thanks for taking time to join us today.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Teresa.
Well, let's dive right in. I want to respect your time. And so our first question, Diane, it's really fascinating how Edge Advertising Group was born out of a rather unexpected situation. So in the 12 years since that defining moment, how have you seen the agency evolve and grow?
Well, what I've seen is a skew towards digital. And that really started back in November 2007 locally. Wow. We saw the media centers start to offer digital space as well as their print and broadcast spaces. And I often talk with higher education classes, marketing and advertising classes about my experience in the advertising world. And what I challenge them with is what we're facing today. The radio and TV broadcast buys used to bring in large revenue dollars.
Yes.
And what has been replacing that is digital buys. Yep. And the dollar points are much less. And back in November of 2007, I remember saying to clients, we really don't have a history with this space, but this will be the lowest cost point you'll ever see. So try it out and let's go and see how it works for you. And from that point forward, the price never moved very much. And it just took more and more of the advertising communication world. So here we are. So those collegiate classes today that are looking to an advertising career, that is a challenge that they still need to overcome.
Quite a challenge, I do say so myself. Crazy times. And
but I would add that what I have seen to the plus and has helped a little with that challenge I just mentioned is the fact of people's attention to online spaces. Because once they started advertising, say with a media center's digital space, because of click-through capabilities, they needed to escort that viewer or listener somewhere.
Right.
And okay, where are they? So they've been paying more attention to their website, to social media, to other online citations. So we have been able to help in that way.
That's great. It just keeps, it's like this domino effect. It just keeps going. Absolutely. And, I know we're at Edge Advertising Group. The variety of services you offer is absolutely astounding. How do you ensure that your team stays proficient in such a wide range of areas?
Well, we are fortunate to having professionals who first love what they're doing, because their internal and intrinsic motivation to really learn. And learning is so much easier today because a lot of it can happen online. And there are a lot of organizations that offer learning opportunities that are low fee based or for, price conscious shoppers. So that's really where we're blessed. And also we're involved with chambers. I'm on 2 boards of chambers. We get a lot of information from the business world through those chambers. And then also other networking groups that I'm involved in. Sure. So we're constantly connected with outside of ourselves. And then also it really helps on our team to have web developers, because they sort of stay in the know. You know, they're online so much, and they're constantly bringing new thoughts and ideas and challenges and really helpful tips and training to all of us.
And that's a really great segue into our next question, because the digital advertising world is rapidly changing. You alluded, you talked about that a little bit. So what strategies do you use to stay ahead of the trends, and how do you incorporate them into your work?
Well, to start, we do not try to stay ahead of trends. We feel from our experience, trends come and go very quickly. Also, they're usually full of issues and errors. And so there's a correction time. So if you are an early adopter, it takes more time and perhaps leads you in a path that you do not want to go. Also, our clients, I've gotten really straightforward feedback from clients. You're asking me to try this without a history. They take offense to that. So we are really careful of when we enter the latest trend. And we also want to ensure when we do enter that we have opportunities to analyze results from that, whether they be digital metrics or other means.
Sure. Absolutely. And that's great. I never heard of it in that perspective, trying to stay, and it makes total sense the way that you laid it out there. So thank you for that. And our last but not least question, your on-hold messaging service is reaching businesses nationwide. So could you share with us how the idea came about and how it's been received by businesses across the country?
Well, and actually, we have one of our U.S. customers has locations in 3 other countries, so we're actually there too, which is nice. There was research done a long while ago where they found that through on-hold messaging, callers perceive they're not on hold as long, and also they are willing to wait. And it is sort of a signal that I'm still connected. And, I don't know your own personal experience, but I know there are certain numbers that I have to call that I get a lot of work done when I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I put it on this phone on speaker and, it's constantly playing, but I'm listening to something. I'm either listening to a voice speaking or I'm listening to music, and I know I'm still connected. If it was silent, those prolonged period of time, I would wonder if I really am still connected.
Right.
So those things do work. What we also know is the image it projects. So when you do hear a professional voice and you do hear licensed music, there's a polished presentation, and that business or organization has really looked at what's out of sight and tends to be out of mind, because many times you don't call your own business. True. And so it's something you have to take an overt action to deal with. And those businesses that have it stands out. We do use professional voices, and there are differences. We've had clients that want to brand their own voice, and if they're someone that are in front of their customers a lot, they want their customer to feel comfortable that it's the same voice they're hearing. But in reality, the professional piece is lacking when they're not professional voices. But what really can snag you is music. Music needs to be licensed. And not everyone playing music on hold is using music license. And there are people we know have been caught and have paid tens of thousands of dollars because of it.
Wow.
And it's much easier to catch people today using the wrong images and the wrong music.
Absolutely.
So all of that has helped.
I would never have thought that you'd have to have licensed music for, for being on hold. Wow.
And as well as online.
Yeah.
What you're using online,
Exactly.
any place else online.
Exactly.
But what has really helped the on-hold message business is the web, because we can deal with businesses that have multiple locations, just like I just mentioned, throughout the US and then in offshore locations. And through web delivery, through a small hardware box that attaches to their telephone system, we can simultaneously send it to all their locations at the same time, and everybody's updated.
Wow.
So when you are a business or organization that is so spread geographically, one of the challenges before you is constantly keeping your personnel on the same page. And in the old days, we actually, in the real old days, would pack up cassettes and mail them. Then it went to CDs. And then now it's, if someone doesn't have that box and doesn't care for that multiple location update, we can send them an email with a digital file and they can download it themselves. But what we know happened in the cassette and CD days, they sat on desks of the receivers, and it was something they were going to get to, but oops, here comes the next one in the next quarter. Whoop, didn't get to that last one. So this ensures that the messages are up to date and everyone is aboard, at least auditorily, through the telephone system.
It's amazing how technology has evolved and continues to evolve. My gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure hosting Diane today, giving us an intriguing peek into the world of Edge Advertising Group, and her insights and experiences in the field of digital advertising, I'm sure you'll agree, are truly enlightening. We encourage you to continue this conversation with Diane, explore more about Edge advertising, and maybe even find new avenues to expand your own business. All of Diane's contact information is in the description of this interview. So thank you, Diane, for sharing your journey and wisdom with us today. And to our audience, let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.